Welcome to Just the Two of Us Homestead. We are Colleen and Frank, and we live in the perfect size homestead just for us in southwestern Quebec. Gardening, growing food, and preserving is one of our passions. And our barn animals, we love them so much, they're just like pets. And we're so fortunate to be able to live our lives as we do. Each and every day is a blessing. Hi, everyone. Today we're going to make supper for a change. I think I've done enough in the dessert department. So tonight we're going to make what is our version of a roast chicken supper. It's actually kind of inspired by Frank's mother. I guess it's more of a European, that's my oven, a European way that she did it. When I used to cook a roast chicken many years ago, I would put it in a roasting pan. Sometimes I would stuff it, sometimes not. Always make mashed potatoes and a side vegetable or whatever. Well, she always did it on a big cookie sheet or sheet pan, and I don't even have my big one anymore. I have to get a much bigger one. And she parted it out by legs and breast, put tons of olive oil and garlic and seasoning, and put all her vegetables around it. Well, I've been doing that for several years now, and it's our favorite way to have a roast chicken dinner. I don't even make a gravy or anything. It comes out so tender, and we have all our root vegetables from the garden. That's why I like to make it this time of year. I make it during the year as well, but we both love root vegetables, and since they're so good out of the garden right now, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to put this in the fridge just for a minute while we do that. So I am going to cut up a whole bunch of vegetables. Frank loves vegetables, like really loves them, and I do too. Everything here we both love. Carrots, sweet potatoes. I'm going to even put one of our turnips. So I'm just going to fill this bowl up. I'm going to toss it with olive oil and garlic and salt and pepper. And I purposely picked, like, it's a great way to use up all these small potatoes. I'm using all the skinny little sweet potatoes. The carrots I'm not going to leave whole, but I'm not going to cut them up because they have to roast the same time as the chicken. So I've scrubbed everything really well. If they're really small, I'm leaving them in this state. And you know what? I can't see. Oh, there we go. Much better. So I'm just going to cut everything up. The only thing I'm going to peel is the turnip. And then when I have everything peeled and ready in this bowl, we'll come back and I'll show you. It's a beautiful supper all on one sheet, and the tastes are just delicious. The whole point, in my opinion, is to let the vegetables shine, and the chicken is good as well. I have to get a bowl for all the scraps. There won't be many because I'm not really peeling anything. So I'll be right back when I have everything all cut up, show you the sizes so you get an idea. Some of the sweet potatoes are broken. I picked them as well, not just for their size, but if there were any that had like little blemishes that I know aren't going to store very well. So I'll see you in just a bit. Okay, all my vegetables are cut up. The next thing I'm going to do is just cut up a bunch of garlic because I'm going to need it both for the vegetables and for the chicken. So I'm just going to do it all now. I also took out an onion for Frank, but I'm not going to mix it in with that because I don't want it in there. So I'm just going to leave it in pieces like that, and he can just separate the pieces when he's eating. So I'm not going to mince the garlic. I'm just kind of cutting it up, a rough chop. And this is entirely up to you, or any of this is. Depends what vegetables you like, how much garlic. I don't even know yet if I'm going to use all this. I usually put 2 to 3 cloves in the vegetables and 2 to 3 cloves with the chicken. This is a bit bigger of a chicken. We got it at our local grocery store. They were on sale, and it's a pretty big one. It was fresh, not frozen. So here's my big, beautiful bowl of vegetables. I'm going to put in my garlic. I'll just put, they almost went on the floor. I'm going to generously coat everything with, I'm using extra virgin olive oil. And I'm using kosher salt, but you can use any salt. So it's going to look like I'm using probably a lot of salt, but when you use kosher salt, you're not using as much salt. But for this, I like using kosher salt. And this is just black pepper that's been freshly ground. I'm just going to get in with my hands and mix it all up. I'm probably going to have to add more olive oil, I can tell already. Oh, I almost forgot. I'm putting Italian seasoning in. I made this Italian seasoning. I looked up what goes into it, and the only thing I'm missing is marjoram or marjoram, which I never buy or use. So I have oregano, basil, thyme, and rosemary in here. So it's just my own concoction. But instead of bringing out all of those things individually, I just mix them into one thing. Oops. So there. So I'm just going to let that sit for a second while we get the chicken prepped. So this is a nice big fresh chicken we bought yesterday. And I like to rinse off my chickens. I don't know if other people do. And then I will pat it dry. That's why I like to do all the vegetables first, because now I'm going to contaminate my area with the chicken. And everything will go into the laundry and the dishwasher right after. I'm not even going to let you see me cut up a chicken. It is not my forte. But what I'm going to tell you is it works out perfect because I like dark meat and Frank likes white meat. So this meal I'm preparing tonight is going to give us 2 suppers, and it's even better the next day. So I'm going to portion him out with, or her, with 2 breasts and 2 legs. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put it in this bowl, put the garlic, olive oil, and the seasonings the same way. So I am going to wash my hands again. I have my sterile thing here. And then I'm going to cut him up, and then I'll bring you back when he's in the bowl, because it's not pretty how I cut up a chicken. I try my best, but it never works out perfect. So no one needs to see that. I used to have a really, really big cookie sheet, which did this meal really well, but it got too much love. So we're just going to have to squish it all on here. So here's my chicken. I've been patting it off. So I didn't do too bad. I'll show you in a sec. I don't want to touch my hands again. So I'm going to do the same thing. Olive oil. I'll get the garlic that's over here. Some salt. Oh, that's too much. Some pepper. You can put whatever seasonings you like. This is just how we like it. So I'll probably have to adjust again, but we'll start with this. And I have my towel and everything ready to wipe my hands again. Make sure it gets everywhere. Like that. It's hard even for me to go back and forth to the camera and keep changing the view for you guys because my hands are constantly. That's okay. So there's a leg for me and a breast. And I'll do 1 and 1. So I did pretty good. And I kept the back, and I'm going to keep all the bones for when I go to make chicken stock. So there's still some remnants here of garlic and that. I'm just going to make sure I use it all up. Put it everywhere. Wash my hands again. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit more Italian seasoning on here. And a touch more olive oil. Oops. I'm not fond of this spout on this olive oil. And a little bit extra on the pan so nothing sticks. Okay. Now, I'm going to take all my veggies and just place them all around. And it's going to look like a lot of food for 2 people, but everything's going to shrink. And this is going to feed us for 2 meals. So we have our 2 different kinds of regular potatoes. We have sweet potatoes and carrots and turnip. And I'm going to stick some onion in here. Oops, I lost one. And again, there's extra stuff in the bowl, so just sprinkle it all around. And I'll wash my hands again. Isn't that beautiful? I love all the colors of the vegetables. Oh, I didn't put his onion. I don't know what I did with it. It's right here. I'm just gonna stick that here. There. Now I'm going to cover it for the first half hour to steam the vegetables. I'm going to put it at about, let me finish. I'm going to put it at about 400 with the foil on for about half an hour to help steam the vegetables to cook. Then I'm going to take the foil off and probably put it down to 375 or leave it at 400, it depends, and let it cook like another 45 minutes until the chicken is cooked and the vegetables are tender. So when I take off the foil, I'll bring you back and let you see it at that point. And it's a one-pan meal. I know I dirtied 2 bowls and a cutting board, but still, I'll clean that up. And by the time supper's ready, really heavy though. All right, in she goes. Whew. Oh my gosh, it's heavy. So obviously it's not cooked yet. I just wanted to steam the vegetables a bit, make sure nothing's sticking. It all looks good. So I'm going to put it back in for probably a good 45 minutes. I'll keep checking on it and just let it go. I have my oven at 375 on convection. Otherwise, I would have it on 400 regular. But nothing's sticking, so we're good. I'm pretty sure it's all done, but I'm just going to double check. Yep. Oh, yeah. There. I hope you can see it. I can't really lift it much more than that, but it smells delicious and we're hungry. It's been going through the house for the past hour. So we're going to sit down and eat. I'll leave you with a picture of it plated up, but it's not going to look much different than how it already is. So that's our roast chicken dinner. Thanks for spending time with me in the kitchen today. And until we're together again, take care.